So, good evening. That is recording, isn't it? I can't see a record button there. So, hold on a second. Okay. So, good evening and welcome to Redox Talks. My name is Paula Melville-Clark and I'm your host today. Now, on our weekly Tuesday Redox Talks, we share a health science breakthrough that can change lives. I was introduced to a company called ASEA and its products 3 years ago, and I attribute the health and wellness I enjoy today to this amazing breakthrough in health science. And I am so grateful to the founders of ASEA who brought this technology to the marketplace. Now, in a moment, I'm going to bring Anita Judd, who's our guest speaker, onto the call, and she'll be sharing her story. But for those of you who are guests this evening and perhaps wondering what ASEA is all about, let's just take a moment to explain some of the background. Several years ago, scientists made a groundbreaking discovery. They identified molecules natively produced inside the body that help our cells repair and regenerate. Now, once discovered, years of research and development went into figuring out how to produce and stabilize these molecules so they could be used as a nutritional supplement, one that would increase cell efficiency and communication in exactly the same way that occurs naturally inside our cells. Now, the result of this research is a molecular technology that helps our cells function better. Thousands of people around the world are using this technology with many interesting and often stunning testimonials. Now, tonight, our special guest is Anita Judd, and she is going to share her rather unusual, but rather thought-provoking redox experience, which involves her young son, Austin. So, Anita, welcome. And thank you for joining us this evening. I know how busy you are, so it's really appreciated.
Well, I've got my other ASEA fans in the kitchen helping look after my darlings tonight. So
is that right?
Here's to Mum and Tony. They've come to help me because my husband's away. So yeah. So
your parents are also redox users?
Very much so.
Fabulous.
Huge fans.
Fantastic. So Anita, can you share how you came to be introduced to the ASEA products?
Okay, so I live out in Millmerran, which is about an hour's drive west of Toowoomba, and we have an amazing naturopath out here. Her name is Holly, and her and I are quite good friends as well, and she'd said to me, "Oh, Aunt, you got to come. I've got these guest speakers coming from Toowoomba." And at that time, it was Justin was coming, this guru from the coast, and you've got to hear all about this stuff, and it's going to be, and I'm sort of one of those people that once I have a trust with somebody, like, I'll take whatever. If I totally trust you, I'll do whatever. So I went along to Justin's talk, and he actually was telling us about his health issues that he'd had, and just his story, what's the saying, story sell, and I was just like, I've got to get this. And I think I signed up that night. I was sort of the last person hanging around waiting to sign myself up and get my pack, and so I've been using it for 2 years now, and I've gone on to have a set of twins, and I don't know whether, it was necessarily, but my body was obviously doing its thing. And
right, so because you've got a young family, so what sort of issues have you been using the redox products? Before we get on to this little incident that happened that we want to hear about tonight, what are the more general things that you've been using the products, both for yourself and for your family?
Yes, so I'm a busy mum of 5. I've got a nearly 8-year-old. She'd die if I'd said she was 7. She's nearly 8. 6, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old set of twins. And so in our house, the Renew 28 is called Special Gel or Magic Gel, and it's just used for everything. Anyone falls over, anybody has a pain in the belly, anybody has anything, that's our go-to. And I've used it for nappy rash, I wrote a million things down here. I've actually, when my twins have been teething, I just rub it either on their face or I have actually put it in their mouth, and it's, yeah, so lots of things. For myself personally, I'm quite an active, like to work out, that kind of when I can, and so I do a lot of weights, so I often apply it to either, like, depending on what I've done that day, if it's going to really hurt the next day, yeah, I put it on and I'm back into it. There's no real need to have a rest day, if that. Wow. Yeah, so lots of different things, different reasons. So yeah.
Good. It sounds like something you've probably got all around the house. Am I right?
Absolutely. Every bag, every even my husband, who he just, yes, arms, I'll just, like, he's a bit, yeah, I'll just do whatever. He's even got one in his toiletry bag, and he was away down south and one of his friends had a burn. He got burnt from, lent up on a piece of machinery. And I was like, oh, Aunt says it works. Just put this on. And and we went out for tea. He's like, what was that stuff the other day? And I was like, oh, let me tell you all about it.
Yeah, so, the product sort of speaks for itself, really, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It's a sort of a faith thing. Like you said, you trusted Holly, and you used it, and now you've had all these amazing
absolutely
things that have happened. Yeah. So Anita, a few weeks ago, we were just having a chat, and you actually shared with me an incident that happened to your 6-year-old son, Austin. Yes. Can you share what happened on that day?
Okay, so it was the last Saturday before school went back. We had a great Christmas holiday. Everything was great. I'd sort of ever so slightly already gave thanks to God that there was no broken bones or anything like that. However, I spoke too soon, and I went to the park with my sister. We met, she lives in Brisbane, and we met in Warwick, and we were at the park having a lovely, lovely morning, and Ozzy fell off a little tractor type thing. It really wasn't that far off the ground. It wasn't a huge drop, but it was enough to, he was certainly putting on a show, which is not normally Oz. He's pretty, he's wants to be one of the Avengers. He's pretty tough. He doesn't usually cry, but he was definitely in pain. Mm-hmm. So I kind of said to my mum, because I said I've got the 5 kids, and I said, oh, while everyone's here, I might just take him to the hospital and get it looked at. So I took him to one hospital, sat there for a good nearly 3 hours, to then be told, oh, we actually don't x-ray on a Saturday, but we think it's broken. We might just put it in a plaster and perhaps you could come back Monday. And I sort of sat there going, okay, quite clearly you don't have children. Well, I might actually just leave and thank you. I possibly might come. I'll take the paperwork. I might come back Monday. I get out to the car and I rang my mum and I said, no, I'm going to take him through to Toowoomba. I'll be home when I'm home. I said, no, my gut's telling me to get this looked at. So I took him through to a hospital in Toowoomba, had it x-rayed, and I remember the little girl doing the x-ray. When I said to her, oh, what do you think? And of course they can't comment, but her facials made me think straight away, oh, great, we're in for the long haul. So when I get downstairs and we're talking to the doctor, he walked in and he went, well, no broken bones. And I was like, really? Wow. Oh, okay, great. So and Ozzy left the hospital with nothing on his hand, no sling, no nothing. And I was telling Paula, I'm not one to we don't use a lot of Panadol or anything. I'm very sort of natural, and we try to avoid any of that sort of stuff. And but poor Ozzy, he did have one round of Panadol in this whole ordeal. And so but as soon as we got to the car, he said to me, Mum, I need the special gel. Just put special gel on it. And I said,
so
okay.
He was still quite upset, obviously. And
he was still upset. And so he put it on, And pretty much from that day, so that was the 20th of January that happened, up until the 17th of February, and still now, but he was applying it like we were morning and night, and because he'd gone back to school as well, and so I'd even sent him with a tube to school because he knows how much to put on, and I just said, if it gets sore, just put it on. And he was sort of guarding his hand enough for me to go, oh well, and like obviously the x-rays say it's not broken, or the doctor said it wasn't broken, I should have checked the x-rays. And he went to school, he continued to do gymnastics and karate and just run around like a crazy 5-year-old child does. And anyway, we were just getting ready to go down to Brisbane. I had to be in Toowoomba for an appointment for my daughter first, and then we were heading to Brisbane for a birthday party. So, of course, I leave the packing to the last minute, and 2 hours before I had to be in Toowoomba, I got a phone call from Dr. blah, 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 whatever his name is. And he says to me, oh, hi, Mrs. Judd. And I'm like, oh, hi. And he said, oh, how's Austin? I said, oh, look, he's not too bad. And I'm giving him a bit of a spiel as to what he's doing. And then he said, oh, okay, well, it's just that we've reopened your case, and it turns out that Austin's wrist is actually broken, and we think he's got a crack at the top. And so I didn't know whether to laugh or cry or what to do. So I rang my mum, because my mum's my go-to, my hero, because again, Al was away down south. And yeah, and so mum's going, it's okay, just go and have because he said, could you come for the x-ray? So I finished at vision therapy, and we went over to the hospital to have the x-ray, and it was definitely broken. And however, when we came back from the x-ray, oh no, because first of all he said, oh, how's he been, and what have you been giving him lots of Panadol? And I said, no Panadol. However, I have been using this special stuff. And I proceeded to tell him about it, and he seemed interested, but I think he was panicked. He was too sort of, panicked that this boy had gone so long. Yeah. And so anyway, we go up for the x-ray, and his bone is like, it's totally healing perfectly. There was no, like, had we have got the diagnosis right the first time, they would have taken him in for surgery and repaired that. However, wasn't necessary 4 weeks later.
What was the reaction of the doctor? I mean, when they looked and they did the second x-ray, what was his reaction? Did he expect some kind of a healing like that, or was there a surprise?
He was very surprised, because he then asked me again about what it was that I had used. And I said to him, you should come along to a presentation. And like I had told him a bit too. But as I said, I think he was just he didn't even know where to look or what to do. So
we've actually got a copy of the two scans, haven't we? Do you want me to bring them up, or have you?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. So Anita sent me these earlier on. Now I'm going to get her to do the reading. Oh, hold on 1 second. I'm going to bring this up first. Sorry about that. I'm just going to have to take that off and just do that again. Here we go. So I'm hoping everyone can see that. Anita, can you see that?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so I'm presuming the one on the left is the first one and the one on the right is the second one, and obviously a lateral scan. So would you like to talk into those?
I'm going to point to my screen, but you can't see what I'm pointing at.
Sorry.
I went to do it. I was like, hang on, they won't see that. So, So where you're pointing there, so that there is where the break and then he tried to, the specialist that I then went to see the following week, he said it was definitely bent out of place. And then, whereas if you look over at the second picture, it's healing back beautifully. So those cells were working overtime with that. Yeah, like they were just doing their thing.
Now you've got a medical doctor in the family, haven't you, that took a look at these in retrospect?
Yes.
See whether it was possible that this could have been missed, really. And what did she say?
She just said that is a definite break. How did they miss that? And yeah, the nice calm side of me actually went, maybe he was tired, maybe it had something happen. I don't know. And yeah, and then the other side goes to me, yes, this is terrible. This is why I don't. Yeah, but
fortunately, we've got redox.
That's what I was going to say. We've got this amazing product that we know about and we've got in our hands. So I feel like I'm winning in that regards. So
it's pretty amazing. Yeah. So yes, you actually went to get a specialist opinion after all of that, didn't you? Having had such a run around with it.
So because he had actually, this other doctor had actually checked it, the specialist, and he said to me, look, come and we can have a chat. So I did go for a chat, and yeah, he just sort of went, I would be charging you on like doing a procedure unnecessarily. It's not necessary. And he just said, come back in 6 months and let's have another look, and if we need to go somewhere. But I'm a big chiropractor, kinesiologist user, and so obviously I'd been taking Aussie to my chiropractor in Toowoomba, and he, using the kinesiology, was able to tell me that there was no, negative energy going on there. The body was completely fine with, the state that it was in. So that again is something.
It's amazing. And Nicole's just put up on the chat the divine intervention, that it was missed. It's funny how sometimes you think, okay, and we've got a great testimonial because of it. But at the same time, we've also, as you say, got this most amazing redox technology. That
and for those who know, like I normally get really worked up with things like that. But like even my husband even said to me, you're being so cool, calm about this. Like, I actually can't believe this. And I said, well, he's had the best treatment he could have got. So, besides my mummy guilt that kicks in because I made him rub his homework out for it being messy the week before we found out it was broken. Yeah. I'm still a little bit, that's still a bit hard to forgive myself for that. But yeah.
Yeah. I think I asked you the other day, what do you think would have happened if you had just come back and you hadn't had the redox to put onto it? Because he was obviously a very active little boy. I know it's $1 million question, but you've seen what he's been doing. He carried on with a broken wrist as though nothing had happened, really.
Yeah, and it's funny. Ozzy went to a karate competition on Sunday, and he got a bronze medal. And I said to my friend, I was like, "Oh, not bad for a kid that's only just recently recovering from a broken wrist." And she went, "Really? I didn't see him. But he's been at everything. I didn't see him with a plaster." And so I told her the story. And she was just like, my gosh, are you serious? I said, yeah, absolutely. I said, because she knows Holly. And I said, you need to get to Holly and you need to get some stuff. Do it.
So Ozzy he actually goes and gets the magic gel, doesn't he?
Oh, yes.
When he had the break, how did he describe how it felt, when he put it on? Did you ask him how it felt afterwards, or as when he was using the redox gel?
Yeah, he often used to say, because I would say, and he'd go right up his arm too, like he just sort of, I suppose that's probably habit from, because I'll say, don't just put it there, put it everywhere, go right around, like whether it's on their face or whatever it is they're doing. So that's that's kind of ingrained in their head too, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll get my 7-year-old daughter, let it dry and reapply, Aussie, is her
yeah. So did he actually say how it felt? Did it actually help?
Yeah, he said cool it down, like particularly at the start when it was very like sort of swollen and hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he it's very cooling, had a cooling effect.
Well, that's interesting. So over the 5 weeks of the break, how much product did you actually apply to the area, or did he apply? How much did you get through?
Well, I was working that out, and I would say he's probably had close to nearly 300 mils of the liquid, and then I would have used nearly 2 tubes. Yeah, he's like definitely.
Right.
So, yeah, which is
fantastic. Well, that's quite remarkable, particularly in the fact that you used absolutely nothing else in this treatment.
No.
So there is
one dose of Panadol, and I actually would have given him a homeopathic remedy had I had my bag with me. Like I've got a little travel bag, but I was going to the park.
Yes.
For an hour. I wasn't, yeah.
So it's a pure redox experience.
Exactly.
That's beautiful. Well, look, thanks so much, Anita. We just need to put a disclaimer in here. Of course, ASEA products are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any condition. But what they do is empower cellular communication and cellular function, and that can make the body work better. So big thanks to you, Anita, for sharing your story. I do know that you are so very busy, and this was a big thing to actually find the time to come on. And I'd like to thank everyone that's come onto the call to watch our Redox Talk webinar this evening. Now, if you're a guest on this call, please get back to the person who invited you to watch this presentation, and they will let you know how you can get started and have your very own Redox experience. So next week at the same time, our Redox Talk is on surgery recovery, and Jeanette McDonald is going to share her rapid recovery from major surgery. So please come along and invite people you care about who may be interested in hearing this information.